Hi everyone, my name is Ole and I'm from Split Screen Studios, and I'm going to talk a bit about speed as a strategy and how to win the competition by focusing on that. So the world is changing very fast. Big will not beat small anymore. It will be the fast beating the slow, quote by Rupert Murdoch. And I think he's very right, especially for the game world. This is very true, and it's very important to be fast, to not fall behind. So I try to give some experience and some tips, what we have learned and what I have read about the speed and execution. So who we are. We're an independent game developer and publisher, self-publisher. We were founded in 2008 and we're focused on 3D browser games. We have 3 browser games online now, which is not exactly true. We have 2 online and we have 1 which is going into beta at the end of the month, but almost 3. And we do self-publishing worldwide and we are 15 people. So I will show you a bit of a sneak peek preview of our beta, which is the video you already saw a bit. This is exclusive material just for you. Full screen. A bit of abrupt ending. So this game is based on our technology platform, and we have developed the prototype for this game in about 3 days, which is not true almost. It's 3 days and 3 nights because we had a split screen hack camp where we have did some coding over the weekend, and we had this idea of a dinosaur MMO, and it was so funny that we played the whole night from Sunday evening to Monday morning. So we decided to take this game into development and to make it an actual product. And the game is developed in less than 6 months by almost 1 dev. Sometimes there are a few more guys on it, but it's 1 lead developer who does the game. And the close beta is, as I said, starting the end of the month. So you're very welcome to join us. So how is this even possible? How can we do a game in under 6 months that is competing with games that are built by hundreds of people? And this is one of our core technology, the split screen framework. When we founded the company, our question was how can we keep up with the rising expectations on the games, the rising difficulties of developing 3D MMO games. And we've built a framework. We decided to build a framework that will enable us to not reinvent the wheel every time when we do our next game. So we focused on these design goals. So we wanted to let the game developer focus on the game and on nothing else. The technology shouldn't be a problem. It should be the game that's the focus when you develop a game and not the technology. And we wanted a framework which is effective, so which does the right things, and which is efficient, so it does things right. And every component we build should be reusable and modular. This components like achievement systems, chat systems, ladder systems, template systems, AI, pathfinding, everything that's always in an MMO, or almost always. And we wanted to be able to improve these components once and reuse them in every game, so we benefit in every game. So, speed. There are three keys to gain speed, and our framework is one which will fall into the process. You will almost never find a leader in an organization that is happy with the speed of the execution. To change that, leaders tend to concentrate on two things, which is pace and process. But if you ask what makes some companies much faster than others, it does not reflect the full answer. The main point is the people. How, or in other words, it's how leaders include people in their thinking and how they mobilize them. I know that's easy to say, but very hard to apply, so I'll give a few tips how to do it. So, pace. Pace is the speed of the execution. So, how fast you get things done. There's a big trap to this, and many leaders are falling into that. It's like cutting corners and offering incentives. When you get this done a bit faster, then you get some bonus or some stuff like that. So leaders tend to do something like, okay, we need to go faster, we need more speed. Let's do anything faster. Let's just be faster. Yeah, this won't work. This is like driving a car and stepping on the gas pedal to go faster. If it was so easy, and maybe you saw the Tesla Roadster downstairs, you really go faster, but it's not comparable to speed in a company when you motivate the people. So a usual failure is not giving a metric or a sign that the progress has been made. So you need a goal to work onto, to be able to measure, okay, I've really done some progress towards this goal. If you don't give such a goal, then you generate much activity, but very little forward motion. And another common mistake is that you mix up speed with rushing. So rushing won't help you very much. It's even slowing you down, because rushing leads to errors, and errors leads to wastes of time. So a few words to the process. This is the way you execute things. And there's much to say about the process, because obviously many leaders tend to concentrate on the process. And I will also give some insights we had, but as I said, it's not my main point in this lecture. So I start with the lean principles, coming from Toyota and from the manufacturing process of Japanese cars. And there's three main points on this one. First one is eliminate waste. It's muda in Japanese. And waste is almost everywhere. Almost every day we do stuff that you shouldn't have done because it's not necessary to do. And the main reason for this is that we tend to concentrate on stuff that's not generating any value. So if it's not value, it is waste. Waste is everything that does not add value to the customer. And value is everything that might engage the customer to your product. So prioritize your tasks by the cost of delay. How much would it cost to delay this feature or product or decision or whatever? So you can prioritize your tasks by this, and you get things done very much faster than the other way around. The next point is continuous improvement. So almost try to optimize your work, your processes, everything that you do from day to day. It's called Kaizen in Japanese. Kai stands for change, and then for good. So change is good. Be bold to change things. Almost always it's better afterwards. And always try to improve. It's the, I'm coming back to that one later. It's also very known mechanic in the software industry is continuous integration. So update often, but small amounts. So you reduce the risks of breaking huge things by updating almost every week. So we do updates almost every week for all of our games with small updates, small bug fixes, feature corrections and stuff like that. So we didn't do that from the start. So we had very big updates, and they were very risky and very hard to handle. And we decided that this can't be good. This is such a big risk and such a big change in the game, and players are just shocked by these changes. It's better to deploy them step by step. And the workflow is another important point. Optimize your workflow. We started to work with an Agile development system, which is not Scrum. Agile is not always Scrum. It's another technique which is also from Toyota's manufacturing process. It's called Kanban. So separate your departments into small teams with one responsible leader, and try to internally handle other departments as a customer. So if a developer deploys a version and the QA has to test it, then the product of the developer is the version, and the QA is your customer. And there's also this is also true for art department and other departments in your team. So, processing loops. This is part of the continuous improvement process. The OODA loop, which is from observe, orient, decide, and act. It's a continuous process developed by military strategists for combat situations, but it's also applied to software and development all over the world. So what does it mean? At first, you collect some information about your situation. You try to get as much data as possible to be able to use the orientation phase to understand the situation fully. The orientation phase is the most important one because this is the basis for you on which you decide what to do. And if you decided what to do about the situation, you execute your decision, you implement it, and then you start all over again. And the faster you get, the harder for your competitor it is to keep up, because the ideal situation would be to trap the competitor in the orientation phase, because you are always changing the situation outside. There are many of these loops spinning simultaneously in an organization at different speeds. So sometimes you really need very long time to collect the information. Sometimes it's very fast, depending on what you are going to measure and what you are going to change. But we found that this is a very practical way of keeping up to your process. So one important thing, however, is to have one guy who is responsible for every loop, because otherwise it tends to be forgotten, and someone of your bosses or your leader will come to you and ask, what about this? And no one really knows what this current status is. So the most important thing, as I said earlier, for speed is the people. And it's how you motivate people and how you get them to want to achieve your goals. Imagine a university or a park like the one outside. You always see paved walkways across it, connecting the buildings to one another. But you always see well-trodden footpath cutting right across the lawn. So this is a pretty good picture of how people trump process every time. So if the process doesn't suit them, they will break it. And this is actually one of the main points. The people, or the process, is just a tool for the people to execute their projects or their tasks. And leaders try to avoid that. It seems very hard to manage. It's very hard to fiddle with questions and emotions, and I don't understand why I have to do this. And pace and process is so much easier. It's so much easier to pick up the pace or wrap up the pressure. But in fact, they are just easier to arrange and to adjust than people. If you can mobilize people to motivate them to your goals, towards your goals, and fight for the same goal, you can make the difference between slow and fast execution. So there are 3 different factors, and I'm taking reference on a very good book. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, then you should read it. It's Strategic Speed by Jacqueline R. Davis. And according to this book, there are 3 people factors: clarity, unity, and agility. So what does this stand for? Clarity is the shared and clear understanding of your current situation and your direction. There are 4 parts to this. The senior leaders of your team should be closely aligned and committed. And people find time to review how the work is going. Teams capture and communicate lessons learned, because otherwise it's just lost. And employees receive training when new initiatives are launched. So it's not enough to make one big and clear announcement of your goal and just assume that the people understood it. And it won't help to repeat it some more times either. Clarity has to come from a dialogue. You have to establish a two-way conversation with the people and allow them to ask questions and to discuss and to learn. Clarity is also not only about having a clear sense of the destination, you also need to know the road towards that destination. How far have you gone on that road and how far you need to go and what are the potholes in the road towards the goal. So clarity is about seeing clearly throughout the entire journey. It's about having the vision to go fast. Second one is unity. It's the agreement that the direction is desirable and the need to work together to move ahead. This sounds much like, okay, it's about teamwork, but that's not only the main point. Again, you need your senior leaders to be closely aligned and committed, and the team members to be flexible about switching responsibilities and to make things easier for one another. Team members are comfortable talking about problems and disagreements, and the management system works coherently to support overall objectives. So it's also about the unity with stakeholders across your company and even outside your company. If you have a task that should be done and the stakeholders throughout the company don't really agree with this task, then the motivation of the people that are executing this task won't be very, very high. So it requires approval of a goal and having the skills and the will to do the tasks that are required. Keep going over the long haul, be consistent, and work effectively with others in service of the goal. So it's more about the strength to go fast. Third one is agility. It's the willingness to turn and adapt quickly while keeping the goal in mind. The company bases its success on the ability to explore new technologies and methods. The company creates products and services that are innovative. When making important decisions, senior leaders usually put forward creative and innovative ideas. So agility is not so much based on the process. Processes can be more or less restrictive, but no process in itself is agile. People are the only asset that innovates, so innovation equals idea and the execution, and not only the idea, so execution is so often forgotten, and that's very, very important point. So while it's important to sense changes in the environment and to notice problems that could affect your plans, most people don't have trouble noticing or sensing. The trouble is to be willing and able to adjust to these changes after noticing. So agility is about the flexibility to go fast. So if you did things right, there are 3 questions you could ask your team, and you probably always get the answer yes. Do I know where we are going and why? Am I committed to work with these people to get there? And am I willing to suggest and try many different ways to get there? So there's a measurement for speed. The biggest trap leaders make, besides over-attention to pace and process, may be the most fundamental one. They measure speed in their organization as if it were nothing more than a race from A to B. How fast can we get from A to B? this is putting pace and process to the focus of their concerns and forgetting about the essential component of strategic speed, which is value. And value can be measured, which is also a reference to the book. I've took this graph from it. There are two main numbers here, the time to value and the value over time. And there are 4 possibilities for this. This is long time to value, little value over time, long time to value and long value over time, little time to value and little value over time, and little time to value and long value over time. So obviously the last one would be the best one. And the line in the middle is called the noise line. If you don't make it or takes very long to get over this line, you're just generating noise. You're not generating any value or bringing the company forward. So you should always ask yourself, what is the value of this thing I'm actually doing for the company? And this references to the point of Kanban, the way you prioritize your tickets. So I don't know if I have a bit more time.
We're running into time.
Okay. So when Mark Zuckerberg filed the IPO for Facebook last week and wrote the S1 letter, he wrote 5 main points into the Facebook's principles. And these points I wanted to share because it was perfectly fitting with this topic. It's focus on impact, move fast, obviously, be bold, and it's a bit more. It's be bold to break things, because if you make bold decisions, it will break things. But if you don't make bold decisions, you won't be fast. Be open and build social value. So I hope this helped you a bit, and I'm open to questions.
Okay, well, thank you very much.